Okay, we're live. So I'm going to go to number 23. First request. Okay, so practice test number 23. You should see a problem that looks like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, I did some drawing on there, but so we have some triple dots. And let's see, did I miss one number? Go back and look. Hi, Lottie.
Hi.
We're already up and running. We're looking at number 23. Okay. So you may have a problem here with the mic moving again. Okay. So on this problem, you can tell the pattern, even though they didn't give you the they didn't give you three numbers before the dots. The pattern is indicated right here with the n squared. Now so I'm circling it again here. N squared is telling you whatever number you're on, they're just squaring it. So for example, the first number here, that's 1, and what's 1 squared? 1. The second number is 2. What's 2 squared? 4. So do you see how whatever number we're on, we're just squaring it?
Okay.
Well, now
so then the next one would be 4 squared?
3 squared. If there was the next number in there, it would be 9.
Okay.
And then 4 squared, 16, and so forth. So what we're asking you is, well, what if it ends at 144? What number squared is that? So what we're asking you is, what number squared equals 144? Well, just try it. 6 squared is 36, 7 is 49, 8 times 8 is 64. It's going to be 12, isn't it? 12 times 12 is 144. So there it is. What's the number of elements in this set, even though it wasn't explicitly written out? 12.
Okay.
Everybody that just came in got a question early, so I started recording just a hair early. Brandy asked about number 23, and that's the problem we were just looking at. Okay, I'm going to look at 24 because you asked about that one, Randy.
Yep.
If I have it here? Yep. Okay, number 24. We're going to have to mute some people here because I'm going to have to mute some of you guys. You'll have to unmute when you want to talk because it's causing a few problems. Okay. So anyway, here's number 24. Find the cardinality of this set. Oh, that's the one we just did, isn't it? Did I do 24 by accident?
Nope, you did 23. This one doesn't have the 144.
What's different about this one? There's no ending number. Do you see that?
Yep.
So even though we know the pattern, this thing never stops. So what's the answer to how many elements are in this set?
Infinity?
Yep.
Okay.
Because it keeps going. Exactly. So yeah, so there's your one infinity question on this practice list.
Okay.
Welcome everybody who came in. Let's see, we've got Lottie, Michelle. I have muted some of you, so when you want to speak up, just unmute your mic and speak. Otherwise, what happened is some things got covered up on the screen. In fact, I am going to, if I can remember how to do it. I can't remember how to do it. Let's see. How do I get rid of? I'm just trying to remember how to get rid of the screens on the bottom, and I can't think of it right now. It'll come. Oh, there it is. Okay, now we can see a little bit better. All right, what's next? So we've looked at, on the practice test, 2 questions, number 23 and number 24. They were recorded, even though I started a little bit early. But if you want, I'll go back and redo number 23. Where else do you want to go on the practice test? Or if you want to go somewhere else in the chapter, I'm okay with that too. Don't forget, I muted mics, so some of you, I can't hear anything right now. So if some of you are trying to speak, go to the top, put your cursor up at the top of the screen. You'll see a little menu drop down, and you'll see a microphone crossed out. Click on it, and that'll unmute you.
Can we do number 15?
Absolutely. Number 15. All right, that'll be next. Okay, here's number 15. So I've just basically copied it right out of the book. So you're supposed to fill in the blanks with an equal or a not equal to make the statement correct. Okay, so here are the statements. And I've got my work on here too, so I'll just uncover it. So the first one, A says, what's the number of elements in A union C? Well, before you do that, you really have to find A union C. So that's what I did right here. So my suggestion to anyone doing a problem like this is just do the problem. What is A union C? You remember a union is where you paste the two together, but don't list any repeats. So I don't know if you want to visually check. Here's the A up here, and here's the C, and see if I correctly put them together. I get 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. And now you can answer the question, what's the number of elements in that set? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So because it is 6, I put an equal sign for my answer. Now let me show you the second part right away. You were supposed to this time find the number of elements in B intersect C. So again, you first have to kind of do the problem. What is B intersect C? Welcome, Susan. Welcome, Russ. Welcome, Elliot. We're on test question number 15 right now. We started a little bit out early, but I recorded the whole thing, and we can go back. So the 3 questions that have been asked about so far, number 23, number 24, and now this one, number 15. So on part B, we're supposed to answer by putting an equal sign or a not equal sign in the blank to make the statement true. So in order to find the number of elements in B intersect C, the first thing I have to do is find B intersect C. So I look up here, what's in common between sets B and C. I can see we have a 4, and looks like the only other one is an 8. So there's B intersect C. So now that I know that set, what is the number of elements in that set? And the answer is 2. Well, they've got a 3 up here, so to make it true, I needed to insert a not equal sign. So was that you, Michelle? I think it was. And the only reason I'm wondering is, does that clear it up?
Yes.
Excellent. Anybody have a follow-up question on number 15, which is now before us? Okay, then we're open to look at another problem.
Number 14.
Okay, number 14, thank you. So here's number 14 from the book. And we need that diagram. Hopefully that's big enough that all of you can see it there. If not, you can look in the book. It says, refer to the diagram and determine which of the following sets, if any, is represented by regions 6 and 7. Well, the only way to find out is you got to kind of do each of the 4 problems. So if you're doing part A, well, here I did part B, but here I'll go down lower and we'll do part A. Okay, so if I'm doing part A, what is, first of all, A intersect B? So I'm only doing this part first. Okay, A intersect B, what is it? In the picture, where do A and B overlap?
5 and 7.
Correct. The regions 5, the regions 5 and 7. Okay, now I got to intersect that with C. And C is 3, 4, 6, 7. So what do I get when I intersect those two? Only 7, right?
Okay.
Okay, so there's the answer to A. Is that this answer that they wanted? We're supposed to find the problem that comes out to the answer of 6 and 7. Obviously, this one failed because we only got 7. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So then I keep going. I've already done B. That one didn't come out to 6 and 7 either. It was close, but no show. Should we try C? That one we should be able to do in our heads. What's A intersect C? Where do circles A and C overlap?
4 and 7.
4 and 7.
So that's not it either. So maybe it's D, huh? Let's try doing D. So first of all, where does A here? I gotta scroll a little bit. Where does A intersect D?
It's union. Oh, I see.
No, I'm doing this part. Where does A intersect C? That would be 4 and 7. And now you're right. I need to do a union with that and B. And B is 5, 7, 6, 2. And that doesn't look like it works either, because what happens when you put those together?
7.
That comes out way too big. So if I did this right, let's see, maybe, did anybody look what the answer was for 14? Yeah, it's none of these. And do you see why? None of them came out to 6 and 7.
Okay.
So we were right. None of these. So that's kind of weird. I usually won't give you a none of these. Whoa. Okay. It's some interesting background noise. Okay, that was 14. What Did you want any follow-ups to this one, or do you want to look at another one?
Number 19.
Got it. Any other requests? I can
8,
start- 8?
please.
Okay, 19, 8. Any others? I can get them in the lineup here.
20.
Okay, 20, got it. Well, let's go with those 3 for the time being. All right, next one is number 19. So this is one of these puzzle problems, but it's a little different, isn't it? Just a little different. Okay, so we got 200 students total. We're going to keep our eye on that. We got the single numbers here. Let's see, what do we have? French, German, and Spanish. So French, German, Spanish. All right. What do we always want to begin with? Where do you want to begin when you do one of these puzzle problems?
In the middle.
Yeah, and in the middle is where all 3 are. And do you see anything in the problem that tells you what that is? Here
No
it is.
students.
You see that statement? Note, it's known that no students are taking all 3 languages. That means, this is weird, that means we now know there's a 0 in that center section. And usually they give you a number. This time they said just no students. Okay, now let's do our so-called doubles. So, where does that begin? Right here is the first one. 10 are taking French and German. 10 plus 0 is 10. 30 are taking French and Spanish. 30 plus 0 is 30. 15 are taking German and Spanish. That's this one right here. And now let's do the singles. 70 are taking French. Right now we have 40 in there, don't we? So that'll make it 70. 40 are taking German. I currently have what, 25? So I need 15 more. And 30 are taking French. That's it for, what about Spanish? We don't know. They didn't give us a single for Spanish. Did you notice that? Oh yeah, they did right here. Um, 70 are taking Spanish. 75. What do we have right now? 45? And then they gave us one other thing, didn't they? They said 70 are taking no language. Does that add up? I got to check. Does that add up to 200? 40, 55, 85, 100, 130, 200. Good, that checks. So now we can answer the questions. Does everybody see how I filled out the chart? How many are taking 2 languages? Well,
Wait.
here's one that's these 10 are, these 30 are, and these 15 are, right? Those are the 3 that are taking 2 languages. What's the sum of those 3? 40 plus 15 is 55. How many are taking Spanish and nothing else? Well, that'd be this guy,
30.
30. How many are taking Spanish and not French? That's a tricky one. Do you see how to do that one? How many are taking Spanish and not French? Well, that would be these 30 and these two, right? They're also taking Spanish, but I can't count the 30, so that would be 45. Sorry, kind of sloppy to do this way, but let's see if anybody, do you need a follow-up to that or any further explanation? Okay, not hearing any, I am going to go to number 8, which was the next request. Number 8. So this one says, draw a pair of Venn diagrams to show that A remove B comes out to the same answer as A intersect B complement. So you literally have to draw 2 diagrams. So let me just show you. So here's how I drew A minus B. I mean, really, I would have drawn it this way. First, I would have started with A, and that, so circle A would have been filled up. And then I have to remove B, so I would have come in there, remove the B, and wouldn't I wind up with that? So for this first one, so you're looking on the left, you're looking at the drawing for that one. I drew you a picture of A minus B, and I came up with this, what, 3/4 moon answer. Now, part 2, I have a whole different problem. This time I have to draw a different diagram, and this time I have to do A intersect B complement. So A, I shaded this way, and B complement I shaded this way. B complement, everybody remember what that means? Everything outside of B. And then what is this? What does that symbol mean? Where they overlap. So in this diagram, it's the cross hatching where the answer is. Well, do you see that the cross hatching matches with our answer on the left? We still get that same 3/4 moon. So I'm going to make a point here. If I give you a problem like this on the test, you cannot make the same drawing twice. One of, that because of the nature of what it says on one side, I have to do the Venn diagram the removal way, and on this side I got to do an intersection problem. So when it says draw a pair, they really mean I want 2 different diagrams. One represents the left side, one represents the right side. But you can still see that the answers do come out to be the same. Go ahead, ask. I got a feeling you guys have follow-up questions. Let them go. Okay, if not, I'm going to number 20, which was the next one on the request list. Okay, so this one, we didn't even have to do much. It says, the diagram is already done. And it says, survey of people to determine who regularly buys products A, B, and C gave the numbers shown in the diagram. Well, it's not at the left, it's on the bottom. How many people were surveyed? Well, I don't have it, so we're going to just have to add them all up, right? So what do we have? 15, 30, 36, 39, 47? How many people buy product A but not B? I'll let you guys answer that. How many people buy product A but not B?
12.
That's correct. These 2 guys, right? But you can't count the 5 and the 4 like you, so you were right. I think that was Russ. Yeah, you were right. How about C? How many by product B or C? Well, here, let me erase what I just drew so that won't be so messed up. How many people buy B or C but not A? Well, first of all, do you guys recognize what do you do when you see the word or in this chapter? Key word, what does or indicate? Which set operation?
Intersect?
Intersect is and. So or is the union. Okay, so when you see that, that means you got to think in your head, you got to do a union. So where's B union C? It's just B and C together. Okay, so all we'd have to do is add all those numbers up, except we don't want A. So that means we're going to throw that out, we're going to throw that out, and we're going to throw that out because those are in A. So what remains? 15 plus 3 plus 8. Okay, and then I have two others that I answered already. How many, let's look at D. How many buy both products B and C? All right, let me erase my shading. I always make messes over here. Okay, so this time the key word is and. Everybody see that? And like Michelle said a few minutes ago, that's the intersection. So where's B intersect C? Where does B overlap C, right? Wouldn't it be in there, that little football? But not A. So that means that guy's out. So that really just leaves us with 3. Okay, how many do not buy either B or C? So B or C, remember that's this thing again. B union C. So if you take all of those out, what's left? Just 10. Okay, so once again, make sure you study and, intersection, or union. Okay, that was number 20. So just a recap, we have in the video so far, 23, 24, 15, 14, 19, 8, and 20. Anybody, if if I went too fast, let me know. We can go back, cover that again. Otherwise, I'm looking for more suggestions.
Number Number 5.
All right, number 5. Any others you guys want to put in the queue? Well, let's go back. Let's start on 5. Okay, here's number 5. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna try this live. If we want, I can erase that and we can do it over again. But maybe we better. Here, I'll erase. Hang on a second. Okay, so here's the blank Complete the following definitions by filling in the blanks with, you guys recognize these two up here? Is an element or is not an element? Did you guys all recognize what those were?
Mhm.
Okay, so we got A, we got B. I'm gonna just use this as a help. So if you do A union B, what does union mean?
Or
Yeah, and so they've got that matched up correctly. And are they things that are in A or not in A? This is pretty obvious. They're in A, right? So everything in A or everything that's in B. I mean, here it's really the link again between union and or. All right, let's go to the second one. A intersect. Did they match it up right? Intersection. Sure enough, they put the word and, so we're in good shape. So what does A represent? Everything in A or everything not in A?
In.
I think I heard an in. That's correct. And what does B complement mean? Everything in B or everything not in B?
not in B.
Correct. So on that one, we have to put the not an element symbol. All right, now it gets a little trickier when we move down lower. Part C. A complement is what? Everything, what? In the universal set or not?
Everything not in A, but in the universal set.
Exactly. Exactly. So we did it backwards, but that's fine. That's exactly right. And you're always going to have an element of the universal set, aren't you? I mean, the whole idea of a universal set is you can't be outside of that. So that was correct, That was Elliot. Good job, Elliot. All right, how about D? A remove B. So now here's what's tricky. A remove B. Well, they've got an intersection. Okay, that's because you could think of this as A intersect B complement. Let me just show you. A and then B complement. And where do they overlap? Don't they overlap in that A take away B section? This is a hard one. If you see how we get the answer is that 3/4 moon where the blue and the red overlap. Okay. Now, if I had you just start over, here, let me erase. If you started over and you just did this right here, A remove B, wouldn't you do this? A and now remove B. Wouldn't you also get that same 3/4 moon? Do you follow? So this I erased this accidentally. So this was what? A, remember the other way we did it was A intersect B complement. Well, there's the intersect. So it's everything in A intersected with everything that's, oh boy, this is tricky. They put B complement, so it's in B complement. So if they'd have had a B here, this would have been everything else, not an element of B, but they're saying it is an element of not B, which is kind of a backwards way of saying it's not in B. So I'll be honest, this one was, that was the hardest part of number 5. Good questions, guys. Thank you for the questions. You can keep them coming. We're only at about 32 minutes here. We've got another 18 minutes or so longer.
Can you do 23 and 24?
Sure. Do them over again. Okay.
Did I miss those?
Yeah. Well, we started a little early, and then you got here a little late.
Oh, I thought it started at 7. My bad.
Yeah, we started at 5:02, and then I did 24 after right at 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Here's 23 again. Yeah, I got to do it over because now I've already written it. So you've got this. So that's the set, right, Elliot?
Yeah.
So you first, I don't know if you're like me, I looked at this and I thought, wait a minute, they got triple dots and they didn't even give me 3. And normally that's not enough. But do you see what they did right here? They just handed you the pattern. Here's why. N is simply which number you're on. So here we have, in the first line, we have n equals 1, n equals 2, n equals, okay. So all you have to do is, to get each one, you take the n and you square it. So 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. And now the question is, what squared is 144?
12, right?
And that's it. And that's why the answer, what's the number of elements in that set A? It is, in this one, it's 12. And in number 24, which is similar, 24, did you notice the big differences? There's no ending number.
Right.
And so how in the world can you count them? And the answer is you can't. So there was the one big time to pull out the infinity lesson. What's the number of elements in that set? Infinity. So even though it had the same pattern, it doesn't end. So, hey, we can't count them. Is that enough time on 23 and 24?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else want to? We can go back to any others too.
By the way, Ariel says she's having technical difficulties.
She did. Because tonight, she definitely got the email. So must not have been able to connect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, it's trying to be a team player.
Good. That just like she is in class. Okay. We'll be a team player, Ariel.
Facts.
Duly noted, and we might even make you a captain in the future. Okay. That was, but that was nice of her to be Miss Congeniality by letting me know through you that she had problems. That's good. Okay, I'll lay off that Miss Congeniality thing now. Any other practice? Any other practice test problems that you'd like to look at and analyze?
Can we do one from like 1.1?
Sure. Except I don't have one ready and they're hard to make up. But here, I'll try to come up with something. Okay, got one for you. And thanks for asking about that. So here's your sequence. So find the pattern and find the three numbers in the blanks. So hopefully you're thinking we would use the method of differences, right? So 12 minus 8 is 4. 19 minus 12 is 7. 29 minus 19 is 10. 42 minus 29 is 13. Do you see a pattern?
Three.
Yeah, each of these differences goes up by 3. Therefore, the next one would be what, 16? And what's 42 plus 16? Okay, the next distance would be 16 plus 3, or 19. 58 plus 19 would be what? 67, 77? And then the next gap would be 19 plus 3, or 22. And 77 plus 22 would be 99. So what happens if this row that I wrote in black doesn't show you a pattern?
You'd have to drop it down another level and figure it out from there.
Correct. Then we would come down here and what? Do this. And we could have done that, but you know, and then it's pretty obvious, but sometimes you can spot it earlier. Yeah, that was a good idea for a question. Nice, good question. Because what I like about that is that means you're keenly aware that the 1.1 lesson is not covered in the practice test.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good question. Another one to look at? So it sounds like it's kind of drying up. You can still bring up other questions too. Let me also remind you though that when we start class Wednesday, I will still have more opportunity for you to ask questions. In fact, we'll take like a one lesson period of time, or longer if you need it. Because I mean, we technically have what, 2.5, 3 hours to do that. We have 3 hours, I guess, overall. We got plenty of time to take the test. Normally the test should take about 50 minutes to an hour. So we don't need all 3 hours just for the test. So again, we can begin with review on Wednesday. So if you weren't able to finish the practice test, you still could do that and still bring up questions like this on Wednesday. Okay, open up to questions. They don't have to be on the practice test. Anything else about the test or assignment questions?
Will it be a lot of questions on the Venn diagram?
Well, I don't know what you mean by a lot, but
More than 2.
I would. Well, it all depends. When you say Venn diagrams, Are you including diagrams like this?
Yeah.
Well, then if you look on the test, there's got to be about 6 or 7. I would say more than 2. But if you're talking about making Venn diagrams like this,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
okay, no, I would say definitely not more than 2. No, that's what I thought. That's why I'm glad I showed you this. Okay. Any other questions you'd like to ask?
Will the Packers fire Don Capers?
You know what? I doubt it, but let's see. I think, I'm hoping that they do some reconsideration. But you know how we just seem to be really slow to make a move like that. Okay, I'm taking that question as a cue to, I think we're wrapping up tonight. Thank you for the excellent questions. I hope this helped a bit. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday night. The video should be posted in about 10 minutes. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you.
You are welcome.